So if you've always thought about what you do if you're going away for a couple of days with your tree frogs, with your frogs, whatever it is, I've got a tiny tree frog, whistling tree frog, living in this awesome planetarium, terrarium, whatever you want to call it, right? It's got water, duckweed, and it's been fully grown, misted every day, and it's an absolute jungle for one little guy. Anyway, what do you do a couple of days? A lot of tree frog or frog keepers out there worried about feeding, right? If they're going for a couple of days, no one can look after their frog. Well, the idea is go to your local pet store and get flies, right? Get a tin of these 50 flies, 100 flies, whatever it is, blow flies, house flies, 20% discount, wasn't gonna miss that. These guys are all hatched, majority of them, and these guys are small, but they're big enough to give this guy a meal. Now, he's nocturnal, so he or she, the little guy, is definitely hiding, so maybe tonight we'll have a look to see if he's feeding, but basically the idea is for 3 to 4 days, even up to a week, this should sustain him. He's gonna eat one of these, right? He's tiny, one of these, 1 to 2 flies a day. There's like 50 of these suckers in here. If you have bigger frogs in a bigger tank, you'd probably get 2 of these and put 1 in each corner. Now, this is what you do, right? You don't just put this in there and open the lid. It's gonna be mayhem. The frog's gonna jump in. There's vermiculite in there. It's gonna go everywhere. Half the flies will fly out when you open the container. This is what you do. So you can use a craft knife or just a little kitchen knife. This one's nice and tiny, nice blade. Obviously be careful. You wanna cut, once you get in, right? You wanna cut the tiniest hole because you only want 1 to 2 flies getting out at a time. You don't want them all getting out, right? So that hole is now big enough. That hole is now big enough for the flies to come out, but also not all in one go. And you're gonna place this strategically inside the terrarium, what makes sense. But once again, I'll show you guys how we do that. Perfect. Now you can see they're already coming out. It's going to be mayhem. I've sealed the lid and they're all flying around. Now that tree frog is so small, he is not going to be able to knock that down into the water. He's still got access to his water area. He's got plenty of access around to his trees, and he's got food to last him, honestly, like 2 weeks. But obviously, I'm not going to go away for 2 weeks and leave him. He still needs to be cleaned. But if you're going away for 3-4 days, even up to a week, this should satisfy 1 small frog. All right, there's 50 flies. If you've got bigger frogs with bigger requirements, then you need 2 of these tubs, put 1 in each corner. But these guys are now all buzzing around. So yeah, he's gonna be nice and plump by the time I get back from vacation. Anyway guys, tonight we'll have a look to see if he's out, see where he is. He can't get into that hole either, that's way too small, which is the idea. So I literally left him for like 2 minutes and came back and he's already hunting, right? You can see all the flies around on the lid, flying around. Tonight will be even more interesting as he's nocturnal. He's obviously hungry and very keen. Can't see him too well, don't wanna open the lid. Oh, there we go, and he's gone.